Hey guys, what's up? It's Born Baller. So the Nintendo Switch 2 news is coming very soon, and the announcement for the big presentation is out our doorstep. But I know people are going to be very excited for the games, but what I'm personally really excited in are the bells and whistles that will come with the console itself as opposed to everything else. There are some things that I think are absolute essentials to an authentic Nintendo experience that just felt missing from the original Switch, and so here are my hopeful upgrades for the successor. One standout feature that I felt was sorely missing from the original Nintendo Switch is music. And no, I'm not talking about specifically within the games, but actually the apps and features, and even the main menu of the console. I see what they were going with for the UI to make it easy to read, but not including any background audio to accompany it makes it feel extra stale. Ever since the Wii, it felt like Nintendo really tried to make a great user experience from top to bottom, but they really pulled the reins on the Switch. While I can understand why they wouldn't want to invest the time and resources to every nook and cranny of the Switch 2 experience, I think that this feature would be incredibly disappointing to see missing. In a very similar category, we were long overdue for themes. The 3DS had plenty to choose from, and a lot of them could be downloaded for free. Many fans were hoping to see this return, especially since there's a menu that seems to suggest there would be a future upgrade. But nope, that never happened. Even just being able to choose from a color palette would have been nice, but I'm looking for themes based on their series. Nintendo has a wealth of franchises to create unique themes for, and I'm sure they'd appreciate the pocket change for something as simple as changing a PC wallpaper. So here's a big feature that I feel like many Nintendo fans have given up on, but with Nintendo Switch Online, I feel like it can be achieved. Achievements, that is. I know there are a ton of doubters for this, but I do think NSO would be the easiest way for them to host and track your progress. They've mentioned how this will be their future-proof system moving forward, and so I can't help but think they'll want to continue building upon it and providing value. I can't deny that they might neuter the idea by making it only available for their first-party games, the NSO catalog, and close partners, but I do think that if Nintendo were to catch up and match their competitors, this would be an appetizing feature to introduce. The next one is another slight pie-in-the-sky feature, but man, I really miss the built-in apps you can mess around with on Nintendo consoles. The camera and microphone app will probably stay gone due to the capture feature, but where are my AR games and face raiders? And don't get me started on Street Pass! Having an upgraded version of Find Me, Puzzle Swap, and other minigames would be an absolute joy. I know that most everything I mentioned was largely relegated to Nintendo handhelds, but the Switch 2 is a hybrid console by nature, and so I think that these more casual bite-sized apps could be fun distractions. I feel like the most likely candidate for a unique experience are the new mouse controls for the next generation Joy-Cons, although as to what that would be, I have no clue. Could be a remake of Flipnote for all I know. So this next one I actually got as an idea from using the PlayStation 5, and that is better media sharing options for your screenshots and videos. Now I know the Switch is capable of sharing, but not only is it relatively lackluster, but it was also neutered due to the loss of Twitter. And trying to download screenshots and videos directly to your phone just takes far too many steps. But this is where the NSO app comes in. PlayStation has their own app that allows you to forward media to the app so that you can do a download. I really think that this is a much more streamlined method that Nintendo could adopt for their own online service. Anything to help people share their moments will give the Switch 2 more wide appeal and longevity, so I do see this being an upgrade the devs would consider, even if it doesn't end up quite like I suggested. Alright, time to get to the biggest upgrade Nintendo should full send on. Amiibo! Nintendo has really slowed down with Amiibo, but I don't think they are ready to let go of it just yet. There are still many Nintendo franchises that haven't had a spotlight. Imagine miniatures of F-Zero machines or a Rhythm Heaven character with a soundbox built into the base. New figures are nice, but what would they do on Switch 2? So besides the normal game integration, I think they could let you scan Amiibo to NSO, and maybe this would let you have a profile companion, unlock special profile icons, or hey, how about granting those themes I was talking about earlier? Look, I could dig myself deeper, but please, I need something to justify my poor purchasing decisions! And the last big thing that I really want to see is the reintegration of Miis. I want to see Miis everywhere, on profiles, in apps, in games, and whatever else they can come up with. I don't think it's just nostalgia talking when I say that Miis are excellent avatars that can really let you express yourself. The port of Miitopia on Switch included an incredibly robust customization system that could be repurposed. And yet, the Mii Maker and menu in Switch is tucked away and is admittedly pitiful. Nothing about it makes you want to engage in creating Miis of yourself, your friends and family, or other characters. I think allowing accessories for Miis would be great too, and we even saw this to some extent in Super Mario Maker 2. All the pieces are here, and yet they keep dancing around the idea, and it's driving me insane! Where's the Watashi Life Nintendo? Where is it, you son of—
Several days later.
Crossing. Anyways, let's end this video by talking briefly about some additional features. These are things that are more likely to happen, or are features that I don't personally find interesting. The first of which are performance upgrades to older games. I'll wager this will not be available for every Switch game, but I think that some of their releases in the past year could be eligible, and their tentpole games like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and Animal Crossing New Horizons could benefit from higher frame rates and faster loading times. Next are additional accessories which can be paired with the system. I was hesitant to include this as peripherals don't typically help the identity of their consoles, as we've seen in the past, but folks have speculated that 2 USB-C ports would open the possibilities for extra add-ons to the Switch via these ports, like a second screen. The idea is interesting, but I don't have confidence in the execution. I think if they lean into accessories on the Switch 2, I would prefer a Labo approach, something fun and unique that doesn't have a huge risk attached to it. And lastly, there's the mystery surrounding a Joy-Con button that has been ignored by Nintendo, despite it still being visible in the Switch 2 reveal trailer. While I do hope this is something that would give the console a hook, I can't reasonably speculate about its functionality. Many people refer to it as the C button due to leaks, and some more popular discourse has mentioned a casting feature. I do think this would be useful, but marketing it as a big new upgrade isn't something that particularly interests me. In any case, Nintendo will eventually spill the beans when the full announcement comes around. And that's it! I really appreciate you for sticking around to the end, and hopefully you're just excited for the Switch 2 as I am. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on ideal features or upgrades that you'd like to see for the new console. But that's all the time I got. I've got to get back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Hopefully you're having a fantastic night or day wherever you may be, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!